Good morning. Welcome to the Committee of Adjustment hearings for the panel 3. We are a City of Ottawa quasi-judicial tribunal that holds public hearings to consider Planning Act applications, including minor variances, to the zoning requirements and consent to sever land. Our hearings are now in person at Ben Franklin Place, 101 Centerport Drive. We also enable remote participation by video conferencing for our registered speakers. We are live streaming on YouTube, and the video will be archived and available for future viewing by the public. My name is Terry Otto. I'll be chairing today's hearings, and you can address me by my name or as chair. And with me are my fellow panel members, Martin Vervoort, Beth Henderson, and Julianne Wright. The procedure for the hearings will be as follows. Listed on the agenda and appearing on the screen from time to time are the applications we'll hear today. For the sake of efficiency, I may deal with the agenda items in a different order. Panel members have reviewed the planning reports and any written submissions in support or in opposition to each of the applications. Today, we'll hear any oral submissions relating to the applications. As part of the statutory public notification requirements, each applicant was required to post a sign on the property in question before the hearing. They also had to confirm in writing that they did so, or they'll need to swear or affirm an oath today that they've fulfilled the sign posting requirements. Otherwise, we may have to adjourn or postpone the hearing. The panel may ask for a brief presentation of an application followed by questions for the applicant and city planning staff. We will then hear from members of the public who have registered to speak, and we may also have questions for them. Finally, the applicant who has the burden of proof will have an opportunity to make a final comment in reply. Please address your comments to me as chair, starting with your name and spelling if it is necessary, and your municipal address for the record. All presentations are limited to 5 minutes. Any exceptions will be at my discretion. At the end of the hearing, the panel may either make an oral decision or we may reserve our decision, which means it won't be delivered today. In either case, and within 10 days, the Committee of Adjustment will send the official written decision and reasons for it all to all participants and anyone else who has requested a copy. Does anyone have any questions about the procedure we'll be following today? All right, then. We have several applications to hear today, but first we need to deal with some preliminary and procedural matters. Are there any declarations of interest by the panel members? There are none. We have no minutes to confirm.
Mr. Chair, I believe the minutes of December 10th have been tabled for confirmation.
Yes, sorry, I missed that. Yes, you're right. December 10th minutes. Confirmation of those minutes?
Yes.
Those minutes are confirmed. Thank you. We will deal with withdrawal or adjournment requests now. The committee has received a request to adjourn, we think, possibly item number 1, 2610B River Road. A sewer. I believe that person, oh, there we are.
Morning.
Good morning. Name and address, please.
Sure. So name is Arjun Soor, Arjan. Last name Soor, Soor. And the address is 240 Michael Copeland Drive, Canada. And so the reason for the adjournment request is simply a couple things. One, we received concerns from staff in the staff report related to the not having confirmation yet of well and septic location. And then we also have received comments from the OSSO in the RVCA comments that indicated that they wish to see the application adjourned with outstanding items being being a septic permit and a decommissioning permit. And so we wanted to take time to address those issues. We have already engaged a hydrogeologist who's already done a lot of the work that's required to address these concerns. And in fact, he has already had a meeting and has had multiple meetings with hydrogeology staff at the city in order to work out the location of the well. So we have a meeting with our hydrogeologist this afternoon to discuss that and to discuss the outcomes of the conversation. So we're prepared to move quite quickly on it, pending, what we can receive from city staff. And so we'd be looking for an adjournment to, I think it would be February 18th, if I'm not mistaken, the second hearing in February.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, thank you. Planning, do you have comments on that?
Yes, thank you, Chair. We're, excuse me, we're in agreement with the adjournment request.
Very good. And you feel you'll have sufficient time to address the issues by then?
Yes, we do think so.
Very good. Martin?
Just a question for the applicant. So this also ties into agenda item number 2. And I'm just wondering what your thoughts are on that particular application. That's the lot line adjustment, I guess, to make room for the new septic and in the well. But I'm just wondering, should that one also be adjourned to the 18th in the event that the lot line that you're proposing has to change slightly?
So, thank you for the question, through you, Mr. Chair. We don't anticipate the lot line having to change, and so we'd be comfortable proceeding with the lot line adjustment application. They are related, but the lot line adjustment will be creating room for the septic system, and our senior hydrogeologist has already kind of spoken with OSSO and had conversations with them and had sort of a tacit understanding that that is an appropriate location. So we don't anticipate having to have a adjustment to that lot line, and so we'd be prepared to move forward with the lot line adjustment application.
Okay, I just want to confirm you're willing to take your chances, I guess. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Very good then. Are we in favor of this adjournment till February the 18th? You're adjourned till February the 18th. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I believe you're up next for number 2.
Yeah. So we have a presentation if the panel would like to see a presentation on this.
Mr. Chair, if I could just interrupt for a moment, please.
Beg your pardon?
It's Murray Chown. If I could interrupt for just a moment, please.
Yes.
We received additional conditions from staff an hour ago. I'd like ask the committee to just set this item down on the agenda so I can have a few minutes to discuss our strategy on dealing with the new conditions with Mr. Sewer before we proceed. So if I could ask the committee to set this item down to a little further down the agenda.
Very good. We will set this down till the last item then.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chown.
Thank you.
Mr. Sewer. Next on the agenda then would be item number 3, 610 Alopex Row, T. Eisner. This person online.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Am I not getting any audio? I can't hear anything right now.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay.
I just said good morning back to you.
Oh.
Go ahead, Mr. Eisner, if you would by yourself, please.
Oh yeah, sorry. So Tim Eisner, that's TIMEISNER, 52 Springbrook Drive, Stittsville. We're here to see a minor variance application for 610 Alopex Road. Did you want a presentation? I believe there was
No, Mr.
not.
Eisner, we do not need a presentation. I just
understood.
wanted you to identify yourself. This is a fast track item. There are no concerns through planning or anyone else. So I would ask the question of the panel if there's any questions. If not, then call for approval. Your request is approved. Thank you very much, Mr. Eisner.
Thank you very much.
The next item is number 4, 940 Seagrave Lane, which is also a fast track process. And it's also represented by Mr. Eisner, T. Eisner.
Yes, that's correct.
There are no questions or concerns from planning or anyone else. You're in agreement with the conditions, so approval is requested. Your application is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next on the agenda is number 5, 425 Culdaff Road, J. Ireland.
Good morning,
Good morning.
James Island from Novatech, so 240 Michael Copeland Drive for the applicant.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ireland. Would you like to make a presentation or?
Yes, I don't have a visual presentation, but I'd just like to add a couple of points to our application. Obviously, you've seen the application, so I won't repeat what's in there. But just some additional points to raise quickly. So the proposal is for 177 units mid-rise apartment building. It's going through the site plan approval process at the moment. As you well know, that's not what is being considered here. But just to say that the proposal meets all the zoning regulations except for the minor variance being sought today, which is to reduce the number of resident car parking spaces. So the proposal has 177 parking spaces, which is obviously a rate of 1 per unit. Required by the zoning bylaw is 1.2 spaces per unit, which would be 212 spaces. I note that the visitor parking is not needing a variance. It meets the zoning. This developer and future owner of the building, they are rental units and they will own it for the long term, is a developer nationwide. They're based in British Columbia, but they have developments across the country, about approximately 16,000 rental units. So they have really good data on parking take-up, parking use. They obviously have units in cities, but also in rural areas, often with little or no transit. But they find across the country that they have a usage of resident parking spaces of just on 1 space per unit. They're finding that people are more and more just having 1 car for various reasons, working from home, the cost of owning a car, things like that. But their data across 16,000 units, which is a lot, across a variety of situations, is that they really only need 1 space per unit. So that's their reasoning for this. They don't want to provide more parking than they're ever going to use. And that ties into some of the concerns raised by residents, which would be overflow parking and people needing to park outside the site. Of course, that we can't guarantee that won't happen, but we're not expecting it to happen on a regular basis just because they have the full complement of visitor spaces and they have as many resident spaces as they need. Also, being a long-term owner of the site, they're going to want to keep, firstly, their residents happy with the number of parking available and the residents who live nearby. They don't want to become an issue long-term because they are long-term owners. There's transit available, bus stops providing access to Tunney's Pasture and Stittsville Main Street, which is consistent with official plan policies to encourage transit and also active transportation. That's really my notes in addition to the application. Bicycle parking is provided, etc.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ireland. Planning?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Staff don't have any concerns with the proposed minor variance. We believe it meets the intent of the zoning bylaw, and there is provision for additional parking for bicycles and active transportation in the area surrounding this. So we have no concerns.
Thank you. I guess there are a number of people have written in opposed to this application. And I believe, could you possibly give us a bit of an explanation? I believe there's two different zonings and they're one right across from the other, which allows this building to go ahead. Maybe you could just explain that a little bit so that these people would feel a little more at ease, if you can.
One moment, sorry. Could you repeat the question?
I believe there's two different types of zoning involved, like one's right across the road sort of thing. Like one is, Martin, maybe you could help me out on this. I believe it's,
I think the lands where the apartment is proposed are GM, and then I think across the road is R3, I think is what
yeah.
the chair is
Yeah.
referring to.
So across Culdaff, it's R3, or sorry, yeah, R3YY. And then the lands that are subject to this application are GM with an exception. And the lands across from the road from that are also GM.
Okay, so that would allow this type of a building to be built where it is, whereas across the road, it wouldn't have been allowed.
That's correct.
That's
Yes.
correct, okay. Yes,
Sorry, for planning, what is the exception on the GM zone?
I can pull that up, one sec. So to clarify the exception, it speaks just to maximum building height of 11 meters that are, or sorry, for any part of a building within 20 meters of a residential zone. And drive-through facilities and automobile dealerships are not permitted within 50 meters of a residential zone.
Thank you.
thank you very much. Final comment, Mr. Island?
I think this is a good example of the kind of development that the City of Ottawa is trying to encourage, medium density. I think this developer is here for the long term. They want to build not just this building, but multiple buildings in Ottawa. And I think the variance is consistent with the one space per unit variance is consistent with other developments like this across the city, including in the suburban areas. I think it can be supported.
Thank you very much. Panel members, any final questions?
I would just make a comment. Like to me, the application does meet the 4 tests required under the Planning Act, and I guess I would also add that some people may not have cars, and if other residents of the building have 2 cars, then they could probably take one of those spots too. So I think overall the plan is well thought out, and I would support the application.
Thank you.
No questions.
No questions. Julianne, in favor of then application? Your application is approved. Thank you very much, Mr. Allen.
Thank you.
Back to number 2, 2620A River Road. Temporarily stood this down. We're waiting for Mr. Sewer to show up again, or for Mr. Chown. Please.
Morning again.
Yes.
It's been an eventful morning. So, sorry, we're speaking on 2620A River Road. So we just had some time, we put our head together with our client, Marie and I. And so we've received this condition. I haven't even checked my emails, so I haven't actually looked at it yet. We wanted to give ourselves a bit of time to digest this condition. And so we were hoping to adjourn this application to the February 4th hearing, if there's availability, so that we can, look at the condition, and then, speak with our client and see what the impact is of the condition.
Could I humbly suggest that you do it to the 14th, the same as the first one? Or the 18th, I should say, and we can deal with them both at the same time. That might make it a little easier, give you more time.
So,
Mr. Chair, if I may on that, once again, Murray Chow.
Yes,
If our client has been trying to advance construction of a new house on this property since last summer, so time is of the essence. And so we'd like, if that condition is going to be imposed by the committee, we need that decision sooner than later so our client can move forward. So I know it's only 2 weeks, but it's still 2 weeks of valuable time for our client to move forward on the consent application. So we were fully expecting to move forward with this application today. We're now going to lose 3 weeks. We certainly don't want to lose 5 weeks. We were not expecting this condition, but we do need to review it with our hydrogeologist. We do need to review it further with our client. 3 weeks is lots of time for us to do that, but time is of the essence. So with all due respect, the two items don't need to be heard together, and that's evident by both the staff comments to the committee today. They were prepared to deal with them separately. We were prepared to deal with them separately. We would respectfully ask that you adjourn the application to February the 4th. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chow. If that's your request, then that's what we will act on. Thank you. Panel? It's adjourned till the 4th of February. Thank you very much, Mr. Chow and Mr. Sewer.
thank you.
This concludes the hearing for today. I thank you very much for your attention and your input.
Thank you.